Love it. You know the spelling of love in the youngsters? L-U-S-T. That's called love. Then they come and say, sir, I can't tell my father about this love, sir, but you are like my father, sir. Can I marry this boy? You know him, sir. Then I tell her, don't depend on my judgment. Take him to a restaurant in the evening. Big restaurant. And then he'll go there, he'll know the manager of the restaurant. He says, sir, how are you, sir, today? Well, done well. Yes, yes. And then he'll take her to the table. The table is a little dirty. He'll say, hey, come here. Why did you give this? Clean it. If he does that, don't marry him, because he will have the same sort of thing. If he treats that washman or cleaning man and the manager the same way, marry him. Irrespective of whether father likes or not, marry him. He's a good man. It's a simple answer. That's called samaha. Then it says satyapara. See, telling a lie is easy, but you have to remember it. The next time also you have to say the same lie. Whereas telling the truth, you don't have to remember it, because it's the truth anyway, it doesn't change. So all those who tell lies, not our minister, but like politicians, they all have hypertension. Because they have to remember that. You know, and next day they have to say, I didn't say that at all. They will say the most obnoxious things. And the very next day they don't have even the cheek to say, I said it, but I'm sorry. No, they will never say that. I never said that. The media twisted it. But today, unfortunately, the media is seen, not only written. That fellow will get the clipping and say, this is what you said yesterday. You see that, Pani lauga. Then he says, Minister Saab, Ullu So, you see, this is such a profound thing. Satyapara. Then it says, Kshamavan. You can say, I will be a good man, I will not hurt nobody. But if somebody comes in the morning and hits you on the face, what is it? Then I'll tell you a philosophy. This is Spinoza's philosophy. Do not hate human action. Do not laugh at human action. Do not weep at human action. Understand human action. Spinoza was a great thinker. Supposing a man comes and hits you, let's say in the morning, he must have had some trouble. His wife must have treated him very badly, or she must have kicked him in the morning. So he can't give it back to his wife, so he kicked him. That's all. So if you understand that, he will be happy, you will be happy. Supposing you say, no, pot, then your blood pressure starts going up. Don't do that. So he says, Kshamavan. Then what does it say? Aptopasevi bhavet arogyam. Treat everyone as your relative. You will be very healthy. This is the treatment given in Ayurveda, which is universally possible. Now, future is for mind medicine, not mind-body medicine. Mind is body, body is mind. So, every doctor must be a good psychologist. You must understand human psychology. Most of the time, I'll give you an example. I was a young doctor. I did it as a bloody fool, but in retrospect, I think that was the right thing I did. One patient was brought to me, a very rich man. In that part of the world, he was the richest man. He had some name, X name, let us say. We'll not name him because it's ethically not correct. He's no more there. So he had some funny thing happening in his head. And those days, I'm talking of the 60s, Vellore was the mecca of medicine in India. So he had gone to Vellore, spent about 8 lakhs in this big fight. But he was not all right. So he came to me. I always observe how the patients come, what happens to them, etc. So I said, then he said, no, he was a Malayan. He said, you would have a report on me. All the reports are here. Tell me what's wrong with me and give me some treatment. Then I said, no, report me treatment. I'm not treating the reports. I'll treat the human being. What's your problem? Oh, Enaka. Me. There are 4 people there saying, what happened to his hand? 4 people describing. There is a what happened in his head, another 4 people will describe. There are about 20 people with his wife and children and all. Here 4 wives and about 20 children. The drama went on for about half an hour and my other patients were waiting. Then I said, that is, I told him, we'll do a sort of contract. Only 2 of us. Rest of them will go out for temporary. So when they went out, I asked him one question. How did it start? Some peculiar disease. It doesn't fit into the textbook picture. He brightened up. He said, nobody asked me this question before. When I went there, they started investigating and testing. I know when it came. I said, he is a coop contractor. There's cutting the forest. You take 100 acres of forest for cutting and 10,000 acres you cut. This is what he was doing. So that itself will make him unhappy anyway. But here was it. He thought, he was sitting in the forest, the dense forest, Western Ghat forest. And one day that small bee, doing, it comes. And it was coming near, doing, and it was not going at all. It was doing, not bumblebee, that not the big one. This is doing like that. I was worrying and coming here. And then he thought it had entered his ear. But it never came out. So he thought that had entered into the brain and sitting there and producing all these problems. So I said, Bakra ko pakra. So I told him, Atrelo, that's all. I will set it right. You stay here for a day. So I admitted, he told the nurse tomorrow morning, prepare the theatre ready, gown and all, the darkness, etc., light on the head and a torch and some scalpel. And get hold of a bee, kill it and put it in the kidney tray and get it in the... So the man was very expectant at what's happening next day. We took him to the theatre, etc. Cut the long story short, I showed him the bee. It has come out. Ippa sheriyai. He lived another 50 years and died at the age of 89. No treatment. And he was the best friend of the then Chief Minister of Kerala. And Karunakaran used to always call me and say, what did you do, doctor? My patient is all right. See, this happens. The mind is the most important thing, not the body. If the patient believes something, don't insult him and say, hey, bee can't enter into your ear. There's an eardrum. But we don't know the eardrum can have a hole. No, but then it, there's stapes incus malleus and a middle ear, then this can't go to the brain. So argue with him. He's a crude wood cutter. No, never do that. That's communication is the most important thing for a doctor. What is communication? Understanding the listener and trying to be understood by the listener. Did you understand? That's communication. What we do is, I come here and tell you all about cholesterol that I have read from the book. You will be very impressed. Cholesterol ke baare mein pura bataya. But nothing has gone into your head. It has gone by the side or above or below, but not into it. So I must know what you can understand and come down to that level and talk. That's called communication. There's a book of mine called Fine Art of Communication. And this book, one industrialist bought 5,000 copies. I don't make money. Bharati Vidya Bhavan makes money. It's charity. They were very happy. They printed it again for me. Now, what I'm trying to tell you at the end of the day is, because De Valera said, if you want to sell a new point to the audience, you have to tell them what you're going to tell them. I told you in the beginning. Then you have to tell them, which I've been telling. Then tell them what you told them. Now I'm going to tell you what I told you. And that is, human body is human mind. Everything happens in the mind. Disease is dis-ease and body suffers. And all that you have to do is reverse the whole process. Follow nature. And don't unnecessarily poison your body with drugs. But drugs sometimes are absolutely necessary. Like for example, I was in Qatar about 3 months ago. When I landed in Qatar airport, I started shivering so much. Then I thought the airport was cool. Then I went to the hotel was cool. I was shivering so much that every muscle was aching. So I probably knew that maybe my temperature went up. I thought malaria, but I had to give 4 lectures in 4 days and they had spent so much money on me. So I used to take a shower in the morning, shiver and go to the lecture hall, and when I stand to lecture, the showering stops. And then come back and do the same thing, and 4th day I was down, but it was malaria. You have to take treatment. But then that treatment is only for a short period. But there are people who give you lifelong treatment. That's very dangerous. 1 day, 2 days is all right. Even poison is all right. If you get a heart attack and come to me, do you know what I give you? Rat poison. Warfarin is rat poison. Same thing, you kill the rat in the house. Small dose I give you to keep your blood fluid, that's all. So even poison is not bad. It's that poison is somebody's food and food is somebody's poison. That's kind of a thing. It's all true, literally. So use as little medicine as possible, but see doctors even with the slightest symptom. When you don't have a symptom, don't see nobody because your immune system is trying to do that. When you are well, asking for help, don't go to a doctor. When you are okay, don't go to the judge and say, give me justice. And when you are okay in the society, don't go tell the police, preserve my honor. They will kick you. So, when you are not well, go to the doctor. When your honor is dishonored, go to the police. When your injustice is done, go to the court. So, We must see a doctor, you must have a doctor, everyone must have a doctor, he must be a family doctor, he must be a friend, philosopher and guide. To cure rarely, comfort mostly, but console always. So he must know you, your background, your worries, your anxieties, your economic status, your wife, your husband, your neighbors, your enemies, your friends, your status, everything you must know. In fact, you will be surprised. If you lose the love of your fellow men in society and feel you are not lost, you get all kinds of diseases because the immune system completely gets stopped. Even common cold they found, social support gone, common cold comes very easy. So friends, to sum it, my God, what is this, man? It's 12 o'clock. We teachers go by the calendar, not by the clock. Thank you all very much, because I know talking is very easy, but listening is very difficult. Slides nahi. Okay? Thank you all very much.
Have a look at this audience. It's almost a standing ovation. Now, please redeem ourselves from the effect laid by Dr. Hegde on our mind with her assurance that no medicines, only natural courses to be adopted for healing ourselves. Please sit down. Please sit down. The biggest proof of the truthfulness of what Dr. Hegde says is he himself. Don't challenge your mind if I say that Dr. Hegde is so agile, alive and energetic at 77. There is a session, question answer session. In view of restricted time, we are going to reduce it to by half an hour. Please raise your hand, whoever wants to ask the question. We will be providing you the slip. Please write down your question with your name. Be seated, please, so we can make out who is going to ask the question. Dr. Vasant sir, Dr. Mathur. Please collect the question and we need to scrutinize because we won't be able to attend all the questions. If anybody doesn't get the slip, please convey it to us. We'll arrange to provide you.
This is a question. The questioner must have been sleeping when I said that. I never said eat well means what? I said eat well. Eat what you want to eat in moderation. Hita, mita, ahara, sevi. Most important thing is mita. Hita is you must enjoy what you eat. I never said eat well. Eat well, you know, we really eat well.
Volunteers, if you collected the question, please provide it here.
He wants to hand over a picture.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh my God. You did it sitting here? Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you very much.
Today, please. That's it. Your birthday.
You are older than me. 1 month. Yeah. Something about HRT and thyroid. One word about HRT. Don't take it. Discuss with your doctor and don't take it. Thyroid drugs, yes. If your thyroid is deficient, it's not drug, it's actually the same hormone as replacement. You have to take it. And if the thyroid is overworking, you have to suppress it because it has to work normally. But I am told that there are some yoga methods of keeping the thyroid also under control. But I don't know about it. HRT, no. I don't think any doctor gives HRT now. No. For 1 or 2 days it's okay if there are some symptoms, suppress it, but not HRT and long term because HRT does exactly what it is supposed to prevent.
Sir, one more question we have received from the audience. From Dr. Mathur, do you think a healthy child needs vaccination?
Good question. I didn't want to get into the Pandora's box. The science of vaccination is very, very shaky. To get immunity, you must get a right royal infection. To say that by doing artificial vaccination, you will get benefit, as far as I am concerned, I may be wrong, has no scientific basis. But unfortunately, vaccine is a big business. After all, drugs can be given to ill people, which is just about 5% of the population in a given day. But vaccine is to be given to everybody who is born. So it's a big business, isn't it? So that I leave it at that. But there is one vaccine which eradicated one disease in the world, that is smallpox. That vaccine did not come from the West, it came from Ayurveda. This was studied in 1747 by a British doctor who was an FRCP, his name is T. Z. Halwell, who came to the Bengal with the East India Company's days, studied the vaccination system of the Ayurvedic system from the 5 universities in India, Taxila, Nalanda, Bindoband, Ilyabas and one more, Banaras. And they come in summer and they have 4 sets of them, they do vaccination. It's a fascinating method of vaccination. Because Edward Jenner, you all think did vaccination, that was cowpox. And vaccinated people died 90%, unvaccinated survived. Here, vaccinated people 90% survived and unvaccinated people 90% died. So the king accepted this, and then only that vaccine, which is a previous year's pus from a patient kept in the physician's chamois leather belt bag used for the vaccination, that eradicated smallpox. For your information's sake, most diseases came down before vaccines came to this world. After vaccines came, those diseases have come up. BCG vaccination was supposed to remove tuberculosis. Today the biggest disease is not cancer. You all worried about cancer. You must be worried about tuberculosis. India is the one country with 9% primary resistant tuberculosis, which means the bus, the car, the flight, the train, road where you walk, you can acquire tuberculosis. But your best bet to prevent that is keep your immune system in the best method. No tuberculosis germ can touch you. So, don't misquote me. I never said anything about vaccinations. I said the science of vaccination is very shaky. I leave it to you.
There is too much of chemotherapy in today's medicine. What is your opinion?
I will tell you something. I will not answer that question. I will read you from the book of the best cancer specialist in the world, David Weatherall. The book is Science of Medicine and Its Quiet Art. I quote now, "The way we treat our cancer patients today, mutilating them with surgery, burning them with radiation and poisoning them with chemotherapy reminds me of the way our ancestors used to brand every disease with red hot iron. Our future generation will not forgive us for this sin of ours," full stop, unquote. And the questioner, I'll give you a book to read. This is a recent book, 2014 edition, published in England, by a professor of history in the University of Liverpool. His name is David Wooten, D-A-V-I-D, Wooten, W-O-O-T-T-O-N. You must please read this. It's called Bad Medicine. Book's name is Bad Medicine. Doctors Harming Society Since Hippocrates. Please read that book. It's published by Oxford University Press. We were bloodletting patients for 2,500 years, saying that it will save them, making them purge, vomit and remove their blood for any disease. George Washington had typhoid, we bloodlet him and killed him. Napoleon Bonaparte had TB of the heart, we bloodlet him and killed him faster. But we had a controlled study. Poor people who could not pay the doctors never died. The rich people died, but we didn't see that. So, rich people today also have only one curse: treatment by us. Poor people don't suffer from that. That's all the answer for chemotherapy.
What is standard of BP, cholesterol, diabetes? How it should be concluded?
Sorry?
What is standard of BP, cholesterol, diabetes? How it should be concluded?
In my opinion, your cholesterol is where it is because your body wants it there. And the only way you can reduce it is either change your parents or probably change your lifestyle. No, reduction is science, you can change your parents. Didn't you know that? Yeah, there's a book called Third Policeman by a man called Flynn O'Brien is an Irish writer. Third policeman. First policeman, second policeman, third policeman. He is very interesting. He has a detective there called Dr. Disselby. What does Dr. Disselby do? He created an instrument with mirrors, one behind the other. You know, all girls get up in the morning and look at the mirror in the morning. Do you know why? The picture they see in the mirror is slightly younger than themselves. No, because it takes that much time for the race to go and come back. So this fellow created mirrors behind mirrors behind mirrors. So you look at it, you see yourself younger.